A guide to the Tell Us Once service. This video is for British Sign Language users and gives information about the Tell Us Once service and how to use it. What is Tell Us Once? Tell Us Once is a service from the government and is free to use. Tell Us Once helps you let most government departments and local councils know when someone dies. To use the Tell Us Once service, the person who died needed to have lived in England, Scotland, or Wales. The Tell Us Once service is not available in Northern Ireland. For more information, if you live in Northern Ireland, go to www.ni.gov.uk/articles/who-tell-death about the Tell Us Once service. When you use Tell Us Once, they can help you let different organisations know about who has died. Tell Us Once will contact His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, HMRC. They can update benefit and personal tax records. The person who died may have been self-employed or owned a business. Tell Us Once do not deal with business taxes, such as VAT. You need to contact HMRC for this separately. Department for Work and Pensions, DWP. They can cancel any DWP benefits if the person who died had them. Passport Office. They can cancel British passports if the person who died held one. Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, DVLA. They can cancel driving licenses. The DVLA can remove the person who died from their records if they were the keeper of a vehicle. They can also cancel tax for their vehicle. Tell Us Once cannot deal with the sale of vehicles or changing details. You need to contact the DVLA for this, or if you want to keep the vehicle. The vehicle will need to be taxed again before you or someone else drives it. Local councils. They can cancel housing benefit and council tax reduction, sometimes called council tax support. Local councils can also cancel a blue badge and let council housing services know what has happened. They can also remove a person from the electoral register. HMRC and DWP can contact you about the tax, benefits and entitlements of the person who died if they need to. Who else Tell Us Once can contact? Tell Us Once can contact other public sector pension schemes so that they cancel future pension payments. These include My Civil Service Pension, National Health Service, NHS, Pension Scheme. Pension schemes for NHS staff, teachers, police and firefighters in Scotland. Local authority pension schemes. Veterans UK which is an organization within the Ministry of Defense and supports service personnel, veterans and their families. They can cancel payments from Armed Forces Pension Scheme, War Pension Scheme, Armed Forces Compensation Scheme. Who tell us once will not contact. When your family member or friend dies, you, or the person who is dealing with their affairs, will need to contact their bank or building society, private pension and insurance providers, utility companies, TV licensing. This is so these organizations can close or change the details of the person's account. Before you use Tell Us Once, you need to have some information about the person who died before you use Tell Us Once. This includes their date of birth, national insurance number, driving license number, vehicle registration number, passport number, the date they died. Depending on what benefits or services you need to cancel, you will also need the following information: personal details of their spouse or partner, if they had one. This includes their name, address, telephone number, national insurance number, and date of birth. Personal details of a family member. This would be if the person who died had no spouse or civil partner. Details of any benefits they got or could get. State pension could be one example. Details of any local council services they got or could get. A blue badge could be one example. Details of public sector or armed forces pension schemes they were getting or paying into. Permission to share any details about any of the people who you get the information from. Using Tell Us Once. When a family member or friend dies, their death needs to be registered. You must do this within 5 days in England and Wales, 8 days in Scotland. When you register the death, you will speak with a registrar. They will provide you with a death certificate. Registrars will tell you how to use the Tell Us Once service. They will either complete the Tell Us Once service with you, or give you a reference number so you can use the service yourself. This reference number is unique. This means that it is the only one like it. You will need the reference number to use the Tell Us Once service. You must use this number within 28 days of getting it. It is best to use it as soon as you can. You can use the service online via www.gov.uk. If you cannot hear or speak on the phone, you can use Relay UK. The registrar will give you this number. Deaf and British Sign Language users may be able to use the Video Relay Service, known as VRS. If you cannot register the death of a family member or friend, you may not be able to register a death. This may be because there is an inquest about the death of your family member or friend. If this happens, you can get an interim death certificate from the coroner that will enable you to use Tell Us Once to get a reference number. Where to find more information. For more information about Tell Us Once, including contact details, how to tell organizations yourself, and about what to do when someone dies, please see the websites listed on the video description below.